No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, it looks like things are going really well. Khaleesi might need a little bit more therapy, and but I didn't really have anything. This is a permanency hearing. Our final trial's 5/23. I didn't really have anything that I saw particular that we needed to change. Miss Early, what do you need today?
I'm going to ask the department to provide some updates just about Khaleesi's behaviors and some of the things that have been happening with scheduling therapy and additional support services.
Okay.
Marcy, if you can update the court on some of the things we discussed.
So I try to coordinate with many therapists to be a part of the introduction of Khaleesi and Devin, but nobody was able to or willing to. So Sonia Wright and I met at the Chick-fil-A Marble Falls. That's where Devin and Khaleesi met for the first time. They've only had one visit so far. And again, that's because I try to coordinate more visits with therapists going forward, but have run into numerous roadblocks. But also, there's been some concerns of Khaleesi's behavior since the visit. Khaleesi has always, I think, had trouble with her schoolwork, refusing to do schoolwork, things like that. But her school counselor said that she's becoming more rude to her peers and adults. There was an incident early March where she stole. So we're really trying to get a team together to help her. Like I said, she is visiting with a school counselor. Miss Stacy Bockholt was her individual therapist through the Phoenix Center, but she is no longer her therapist. So we requested another one through the Pursuit of Happiness. She's on her third therapist in this case. And I did speak to Miss Flowers since I updated the court report. Miss Flowers is Devin Witten's therapist, and she said that she's not willing to do family therapy or, with Devin and Khaleesi because multiple reasons. She believes it should be in person and that Khaleesi does not know either of them. She thinks it should be with somebody that Khaleesi's comfortable with. But again, we're struggling with keeping therapists. So Miss Flowers did say that she's not opposed to continued visits as long as they're supervised. She's not worried about Devin being a danger physically to her, but emotionally, we just don't know what that looks like. And so I did get a hold of Amaka Bailey. Amaka Bailey is another therapist that we use. She is virtual, but she has said that she's willing to provide therapy for Devin and Khaleesi and Devin, Jason, and Cassie so that they can communicate going forward when we're out of this and organize visitations. I believe that's all the updates. The school psychologist, I'm sorry, backtracking on Khaleesi again, but the school psychologist is working on evaluating both kiddos. The FIE is due by April 16th, and the ARD is tentatively scheduled for April 29th. She did say that Khaleesi exhibits some elevated feelings of anxiety, depression. Let me see. Sense of inadequacy, social stress, attitude to teachers, inattention, hyperactivity, among other things. So I just, wanted to make sure everybody knows that we are really trying to work with, again, many therapists, school counselors, the parents to try to do what we can to help her.
Okay. I was looking on the screen to see if any of y'all are on this current case that I have, but y'all aren't. It's a case where the children would I think about Khaleesi's age, and they were removed from their parents, and they hadn't seen their mother in a long, long time. And the mother, they had a new baby, and so there was a bunch of reunification and stuff that needed to go down. And the department and Miss Vanna got somehow, I don't know how it worked, got Robert Henley to sort of do I know he's not really on our list anymore, but they got worked out something where he would do basically it was like a supervised visit, if you ask me, to kind of reintegrate the mom into the little girls' lives, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I vetoed it because it was, I wouldn't really told the whole story, in my opinion. And then I vetoed it also because I didn't want another therapist thrown into the mix. And these kids were in foster care. They weren't home. It's a whole different kind of deal. But bottom line, I hadn't heard from Robert in a while. Didn't know Robert was involved in any of our cases. And I thought it was a pretty good deal. And it would probably be a really good situation for this case.
Judge, I can see how he would be helpful when it comes to working on the co-parenting piece of it to help the Devin and Jason and Cassie and then with the mix together with the kiddos. I think we're going to run into the situation again where Khaleesi doesn't know him. They're
Right.
trying to figure out somebody, but she loves her new therapist, Nathan, at Pursuit of Happiness, according to Cassie. That's going really well. I don't know if anybody's talked to Nathan to see if he might be willing to work with her, with Cassie and Devin.
And Your Honor, I've just got to point out that we're now in an extension, and my client, who is not the reason this child got removed, has seen his daughter one time.
I know.
He's asked the department over and over to do this. And nobody's considering the fact that maybe Khaleesi is acting the way she is because the conditions in the home are declining again. That's not on my client. He needs to have visits, and I don't understand why they need to be supervised. There's been no allegations against him whatsoever.
Well, and like you said, we're kind of an extension because we're in long to return. And she's also 9. If I remember correctly, she was acting out when she was at the foster parents too, the foster moms too. Is that right, Miss Wright? Is that right, Miss Wright? Yeah.
That's correct. Judge. She's had behavioral issues through the case. And I observed that initial introduction with Devin and Khaleesi. And I thought it went really well for, the circumstances. She did kind of get up and freeze and walked away for a little bit. But Marcy went and got her and kind of talked her back. And I thought they had some good conversations afterwards. I like the idea of Henley. I think that he's really, really good with kids, and it may just take a couple of sessions for Henley to go, hey, you know what? There's no issues here. Let him go do the thing and just have the regular visits. But we've had such a problem just getting and keeping therapists in this case. I think a couple visits with Henley would be great, and then just go from there.
And Your Honor, I just have to say that you've given the department and the parties the ability to make decisions about his visitation throughout this case after they finally did due diligence and tracked him down. And every time we end up with having either nothing or, in this case, one visit. We're asking for you to make some kind of schedule. I appreciate that she needs some therapy, but saying, well, let's get a couple with Henley, we don't know if he's going to do it. We don't know when he's going to do it. And then my client is still left out there without any visits. We're asking for an actual schedule.
Ms. Harris, where does your client live? I can't remember.
He'll have to tell you, Your Honor. I'm sorry, you told me yesterday and I forgot.
Copper's Cove, Judge.
That's right. Okay.
And then the other issue is that he's traveling to Marble Falls for the visits. The department is the one transporting the kids. Mom and stepdad aren't out any. And now they're still asking Mr. Witten to travel further to have his non-existent visits.
Well, yeah, okay. I have Copper's Cove as a county too, so I have to drive that same route every week or every other week. So, it's not that far. I'm not going to, actually, he has to drive less because I have to go to Gainesville. So, so that's not, we got people that live way further than Copper's Cove. So that's not really doing it for me. Okay, here's what I want. Debbie Early, somebody, I don't know if Debbie Early has a relationship with Henley. Who here has a relationship with Henley?
Judge, I've already reached out to Mr. Henley, Robert Henley. He said he is not accepting any more CPS cases.
Okay, hold on. Marcy, this was like a month ago. That
I can text him, Judge, and
that I had this, that I denied. I signed it, and then I'm like, started thinking about it, and I'm like, nah, ain't good. And I denied it. It was seriously, tell you when it was. It was the week we were going to ad litem training in Kerrville. So that was the last, it's exactly a month ago. It was the last week in February. So I don't know how they manipulated it. Okay. But if they can manipulate, and Sonia, I'll text you the name of the case. If they can manipulate it in that case, they could manipulate it in this case. Now, maybe there's a little bit of different fact situation, and I don't know. I mean, and I'm happy to talk to him, but if Sonia could reach out to him, and I'll text you. And what I would like to do, I mean, Sonia, I would like you to try to get a hold of him today or tomorrow. And if I don't, and you let me know, and then if not, Miss Harris, I'll decide visitation. And I'll make a plan for you.
I'll call him as soon as we get.
I think you can trust me to get that done. Because I mean, our dismissal date is June 3rd, and we got to go to mediation too, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a bunch of junk we got to do before mediation. And Sonia, if you could do, like you said, do a couple, maybe 3, 2, 3. And I'm more worried about Devin and Khaleesi than I am the parents. I mean, the parents where they are. I mean, this is the relationship that we have to work. I mean, incorporate maybe them too. I don't know. We weren't incorporating any other parents because the guy's in jail. The dad was in jail. We weren't, different story, bad different story. But, it was a little bit different deal. But I mean, if Henley could mostly focus on Devin and Khaleesi, that's what I want. Bringing other people in, great. But I don't know. That might get where he's not going to do it.
I think.
And you know what? Why is the department hauling the kids to wherever we're doing counseling at? I don't understand that.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Why are y'all having to haul the kids to Marble Falls? It's not that far. I mean, there's a HB there. There's a Walmart there. I mean, there's good reason to other people to have to go to Falls. I don't know if people can afford the grocery stores in Blanco or Johnson City. I can't. So I don't think they can.
We did it specifically to facilitate the visit.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not that far. Especially if Mr. Witten's coming from Cove,
But Judge, remembering this was a visit for the first time for this child to see her daddy, and I think the department's trying to be sensitive to the whole dynamic. I mean, to throw Jason or Cassie into the mix with all that, I think they're trying to be, protective. Cassie does drive her to Phoenix Center, and I mean, she takes responsibility for getting them where they need to be. If they need to take them somewhere, they certainly can. But I think in this particular one-time incident, that's why the department took her at that time.
Well, and somebody, I don't know, I don't care who y'all figure out take her for maybe the first time. I don't know, but somebody's going to take her.
Judge, that's what I was going to ask. If Robert Henley says I can do it on this day, that everybody be ordered to do it that day. Because I know
it out. Absolutely.
It's tight, and
it's a doctor's appointment. Figure it out.
And then I think that the parents are going to have to, not so much Devin, but I think Jason and Cassie are going to have to understand after this case ends, Devin's going to have a possession schedule, and the family code says one of you drives the whole way one way, and the other drives the whole way on the back end. And so that's something they're going to have to realize is going to have to happen. But I think there's maybe a little animosity there.
This might be new. It's obviously new to the parents, but establishing or reestablishing a relationship with as Ms. Harris said, a non-offending father, and I don't like that word. That's not one of my favorite words. I don't remember why Miss wasn't involved in Khaleesi's life before, but parents who the children are removed just got to figure out there are other parents that these kids are going to have a relationship. One kid's going to have a relationship with. That's just the way it goes. That's a family code. That's law. Unless there's reasons to terminate Mr. Witten's parental rights, and so far I haven't seen any of that. So, there's always step up possession schedules, blah, 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 but that's why y'all are going to go to mediation. So, Sonia, I'm around today, tomorrow. I'm around. I got court. I'm not going anywhere for Easter. I'm here. So, and y'all know I work all the time. So I'm happy to, Sonia can call me. We can work something out. I can get on a conference call with Henley. He's my friend, whatever. So we can get this done ASAP.
I'll get with him today as soon as we get down here.
Okay. And Ms. Harris, you can take our word for it.
And Judge, I worked with Robert Henley on some prior CPS cases before he stopped taking those. So although I haven't talked to him very recently, I've still spoken with him even in the past year. So I can jump on with Sonia if necessary.
Okay, that's good. I know Miss Lang has a good relationship with him too, but she represents mom. So, we need one of the advocates or me to do it. And you, Miss Early, because y'all have to follow the law, and we know what the law is in the family code, which you just talked about. So, okay. Well, I promise you, we will work on that. And Miss Harris, I will get you some, Mr. Whitten, what do you do for a living? Where do you work? Are you married? Give me some, I don't remember. I haven't heard you testify in a while. Give me some information, please.
I just started a new job. I work for a consumer care network. I work, with elderly and like special needs cases where I like go at the home and do maintenance and like at home things to people who can't take care of themselves.
Cool.
So it's a mix between like construction work and at personal home care. I live in Caparis Cove. What was the other question?
Married, other kids?
No other kids, not married. No.
Do you have a roommate?
I live with my brother and his wife.
Okay. In a house, apartment, what?
In a house.
Okay. How long have you lived there?
We've lived here for over a year.
You drive?
I do not.
How do you get to all these places?
I have my brother.
Your brother work?
Yes, my brother's a professional driver for the DOT.
DOT department. But how does he take you and then have a full-time job?
He just does. We work it out.
Okay. Does your sister-in-law work?
She did, but she's recently, as of me starting to work, she's back taking care of my nephew because I used to be his personal caregiver, and now she's back watching him full time. And Brandon just got a promotion at work, so.
So it sounds like y'all tag team and work things out a lot between all of y'all.
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You don't have any other biological children, correct?
No, ma'am.
You have a girlfriend or boyfriend?
No.
No. Okay. Where'd you work before this job?
I was working for True Homes here in Texas.
Where did you live before you lived in Cove?
Previously, I was living in like Florida for about 2 years, and then I was living here in Texas. Remind
me again, in your opinion, why we are rekindling or establishing a relationship with Khaleesi. I know why, you're the parent, but why are we having to do that? Why didn't we have that before?
There was a lot of like distance issues before. They lived in a different state. I didn't have like family there that I could go there and have a support network like I do here. I like found out about this like a year late. Otherwise I would have done something sooner, but they didn't get a hold of me for almost a year into the case. So I thought like everything was fine. And then like I got a call from Ms. Harris, and I have been working with them with this case since, because I want a relationship with my daughter. I've always wanted a relationship with my daughter.
Now, did I dream this? Are you and Miss Whitten still married?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Why, before the Chick-fil-A visit, when's the last time you saw Khaleesi?
Probably when she was like 2 months old.
And why did you allow her to drop off the face of the earth since then?
Like I said, they moved to a different state. They moved up to New Hampshire. I didn't have a support network up there. And I was like just trying to get by. I don't have like a big family network of people that I can rely on. At this point in time, back then, my brother was still a minor. Like we don't have like the support network like we do now, where we have a home together and everything else. Like I was just working job to job. Were
were you did you have addresses where they lived?
Where I lived? No, I
No,
never
where
had.
Khaleesi-
Yeah.
where
No,
Khaleesi
I
lived.
never had any address where they lived ever.
So I can pretty much assume that there was no child support or birthday gifts or anything like that sent.
No, I did child support. I was paying child support.
Okay. Through a court order? I don't remember that either.
Yes, through a court order.
Okay, so we do have Attorney General's case somewhere
Yes.
out there.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Are you behind?
A little bit, yeah.
What's your definition of a little bit?
I'm not sure of the exact amount. Probably a few thousand.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with visitation per the family code and the legislature, but I always ask. Okay. Okay. What else do we need to work on today, y'all?
Your Honor, I have another issue. Mr. Witten was asked yesterday to begin, not to begin, to do an OSAR, to undergo drug treatment, and to do a psychiatric evaluation. I'm not sure where the psychiatric evaluation came from. And as far as any drug services, there's not any allegations I'm aware of against him. The only thing I can see is that this might be coming from the psychological evaluation that was done on November 3rd. I don't know why at this point we're asking Mr. Witten to do additional services.
When did we get the psychological evaluation back?
In November. And he did drug test at the beginning of the case as requested and was clean.
Did you do a hair strand?
He says yes.
Well, it kind of goes back to the same thing you said about visitation. How much are we going to cram in at the last minute? I mean, we're drop dead date pretty soon.
Well, and my issue is, Your Honor, if Mr. Witten had been dragging his feet on everything the way the department has, then nobody would be looking to give him visitation and give him time. The department needs to be held to the same burden that my client is. They have an obligation to this child and to my client.
Ms. Wright, what do you think about all this?
Sorry, I've never heard anything about Mr. Witten having drug issues. I think it's more important at this point just to focus on that reunification and giving these people a plan to go forward.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gilson, what do you think? Ms. Gilson, what do you think? Hold on, I got to move something. I'm here. Don't talk. Ms. Gilson, what do you think? That's the third time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to wait. I think it's late in the day to ask so much of Mr. Witten. If he had tested positive on the drug test in the beginning, then, that's one thing. But at this point, I feel like that's asking a little bit much.
Okay. What is he doing now, Ms. Harris?
As far as
Ms. Harris or Ms. De La Cruz, what is Mr. Witten doing on a regular basis?
He completed a 13-week parenting course, and he's been going to therapy. Those were the only things that were initially asked of him and set up for him.
Okay. Ms. De La Cruz, why is this stuff just now coming up?
Judge, so he has been asked to do a parenting course, but did not complete that. That has not been done. He is working with his therapist on that. He has also canceled, at least according to his therapist, 3 visits since he's been working. So his schedule now has changed. We're trying to get with Miss Flowers to coordinate a better time and date for him to work his therapy. But when I spoke to Miss Flowers this week, she said that she believes that he does need a psychiatric evaluation, that she agrees with that. And I'm genuinely trying to help out Mr. Witten for future. I mean, I get that we found him late in the game. And I hate that I came into this case a little late, but I'm doing everything I can in my power to try to get support to this family. I have asked him to do those things since re-reviewing the psychological eval. Actually more conversations with Mr. Witten where the drug and alcohol thing came up is because on the psychological, it did reflect that he had some substance abuse issues potentially in the past. He and I've had that conversation, and he has shared with me that he used to drink in extreme excess. Now he says he drinks occasionally. I'm okay with cutting that out, but the psychiatric evaluation, I do believe that he needs that. I mean, he does.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. If he had, number one, how are we going to be able to get him into have a psychiatric evaluation between now and 5/23?
I told him it's a phone call to Blue Bonnet Trails. It should be just virtual evaluation.
Do they do psychiatric evaluations?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have to already be an established patient with them to get him PDQ?
Not that I know of.
Is he in the is Cove in the Blue Bonnet Trails area?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we get him.
And Your Honor, he has rescheduled each of those appointments. The department has canceled just as many appointments with him to meet him. They schedule something and then cancel at the last minute.
I'm
And
good.
it's gonna go.
I'm good on
Okay.
that. I'm not gonna worry about that. Okay, so Mr. Witten gets in, say next week. How long does it take to get those psychiatric evaluations back?
Honestly, Judge, I'm not sure about how long it's going to take to get back, but it's about setting him up for the future. He and I have talked about medication for his anxiety and things like that, and he's not opposed to it. But if he gets into the Blue Bonnet Trail system, he can work with a therapist through them going forward.
Okay. I'm writing that down. I mean, I don't know what order, but I have it over here on my question pile. Okay. What else, Miss Harris?
I believe that is everything I had today, Judge.
Okay, Miss Lang, you have anything?
Yes, Your Honor, I need a couple of things. We're ready to file the divorce. Cassie's getting me the statement for the waiver of the court costs. We're supposed to get that done today. I've been talking to Ms. Harris. She's going to accept service for Mr. Witten and work with him. We do need to know about transfer and consolidating that AG case and see if Deb, I was going back through my records to see if we've done that. But if not, Judge, could we do that so we get it all into one place and we can handle those?
That should have been done, Becky. I remember doing the order and Judge signing it, so
Perfect.
And
Yeah,
ordered it October 3rd of 22.
Well, thank you, Judge. I can find it now under October 3rd. So we're going to get that filed, Judge, and hopefully with mediation, get all that worked out. I did a couple of updates. I spent some time with the family on Sunday, I think it was. Cassie has pre-registered the children in their current school for next year. It's out of her district, but she was able to get that done, and we have confirmation of that, so they won't have a change for next year. She is going to take a new job. She got accepted yesterday at AutoZone, and at first I thought she would go into a custodial job at the school, but this actually is going to be better for her. She is going to get to work all through the year, Monday through Friday, and get off in time to pick up the kids and take them to school. And as far as Mr. Witten not having the physical address, Judge, he did have the social media contacts for Cassie all along. So it wasn't like he was on an island of information or a desert of information. And I think that's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Phelps, anything?
Just get this over with.
I'm trying to. Okay. Okay. Ms. Gilson, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody else want to say anything? Lawyers?
Judge, I had talked to Marcy or Miss De La Cruz about setting up some services in the home for the McCarrick-Witten folks. And it's like some new service out of that Teresa sent me on another case where they come into your home and they help you learn like cleaning and things like that. And I just wanted to check the status of that because I think that'd be real helpful.
Great idea. Ms. De La Cruz, you know anything about that?
No, ma'am. I sent the referral. I will call them today to look into it. I don't believe that Cassie has heard anything. I haven't heard anything yet. And I just wanted to share that I didn't get the psychological evaluation back until January.
Okay, that's fine.
What's the name of that service, if you guys don't mind me asking?
I can email it to you unless Jason has.
Very
It's
cool. I'm
Admore.
excited. Say again.
It's Admore. And they're out of the Houston area, but they have just expanded into our area.
That's cool. You're gonna be sorry you mentioned all that. Yeah, that's good.
We just
Okay.
don't want Travis County to find out about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. They have a million other services they can use, I'm sure. Okay, y'all have a service plan. You have to comply, or your parental rights can be subject to termination. Lawyers, talk to me about mediators. I'm thinking this might be a Russ Baker kind of case. I don't know. Y'all are looking at me weird.
Judge, I think that was discussed last time, and I think you had ordered Russ Baker, but you didn't do a mediation order.
Okay.
It was just in the hearing order, and we've reached out to Russ. He's supposed to have his legal assistant sending out some dates. So we can try to get this done in April, but he is going to need a mediation order from you.
Okay. So are you telling me that's not going to be practical anymore?
No, that it is. We just need a mediation order from you because it was just in a hearing order and he wants the official mediation order.
Well, tell him I said nice words. Not really. Okay. I do know that him and me and Miss Lang and Miss Wright, sort of Miss Wright, all on this are on a nasty trial at the end of the month. It's going to take a couple of days. So anyway, I said last time mediation had occurred by 5/1. Well, that was also in January. That's obviously not going to happen. I'm just going to say by the trial date of 5/23. So that gives everybody a little bit more time. So don't worry about that. Okay. Write that down. I'll get a mediation order. And just tell him I said that there's a mediation order. Okay. So, and if he wants to talk to me about it, we'll have a lovely conversation on the phone. So anyway.
I don't think that'll be an issue, Judge. We just.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Tell him he owes me a favor because I owed him. I did him a favor yesterday, so it'll all work out. Okay. Attorney ad litem and court arranged visitation plan for Mr. Witten. Attorney ad litem is right to contact Robert Henley ASAP. Mediation with Russ Baker by 5/23/24. Mr. Witten to contact Bluebonnet Trails, and I said by 4/1/24. That means now or tomorrow. To set up patient, and I am going to order the psychiatric evaluation. The recommendations from the psychiatric evaluation are to be reviewed by CPS ad litems and Ms. Harris for further services. If there's no agreement about further services, then let me know and I will decide if any further services are needed. In-home, changing to the McCarrick home, in-home services to be set up for McCarrick's by CPS within a week. Okay. I think that's all good stuff. It kind of see Ms. Harris, that doesn't say Mr. McCarrick's going to have to do Mr. Witt's going to have to do a whole bunch of stuff. You got Ms. Wright, Ms. Gilson in there to work on things too. And if y'all don't decide, let me know. But I do agree with Ms. De La Cruz. I think if there is, I tell family members, get hooked up with your local mental health authority just for future reference. It doesn't hurt. It's not, it's not a bad thing. We all know how hard counselors are to get into, even if one of us had a tragedy, heck, it'd probably be 3 months before we could be able to get into anything as some sort of a staff if we're not established with a provider. So I think we'll see. So, okay. Well, Ms. Wright, I'm around. Why don't you just call me? I will text you the name of that case. And if anybody else wants to know what case it was, y'all can text me and I will tell you. So I'm just not going to put it in a group email or I'm not going to say it out here because we are on YouTube today. Okay. Okay. Well, good luck. And I'll see y'all 5/23. I think this is definitely a mediatable kind of case. So, okay. Y'all are excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Everybody's going to testify. Please raise your hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, thank you. Okay, have lawyers, Casa, have y'all been able to visit, correct?
We have not spoken with CASA. I did speak to Ms. Potts, and she indicated that there is an agreement to TMC. I believe she was going to confirm that. So if I can just check with Ms. Susan Potts if that is still the agreement.
I haven't been able to reach Miss Webb because she's in Synacor in rehab, and so I've had difficulty getting through. But Miss Webb, is that still your agreement? And if not, don't say anything else. I'll just talk to you in a separate room. Are you still in agreement? You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's quite all right.
To this meeting,
If you're still in agreement to temporary managing conservatorship, or if you have a question, we'll go to a breakout room. Okay.
I have a question.
Okay, Judge, could we go to breakout real quick?
Ms. Simpson, can you send Ms. Potts and, excuse me, Ms. Webb to breakout room?
Your Honor, we have an agreement for TMC.
Why does everything hit the fan when, right before holidays, okay. I heard you talking, Ms. Potts, but I didn't understand you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I didn't notice that you were muted, but yes, we do have an agreement for TMC today, Your Honor. And Ms. Webb,
Okay, thank you.
she is
Okay, so we'll just go through the lawyers and see what everybody's going to need in addition to that. Ms. Vanna, what do you need today?
Judge, today at this time, I don't believe the department needs anything. I believe that mom is currently in rehab, so I don't want to order any services before the family or group conference. I would suggest that happen first, since she's already, started on some necessary steps to get better. And the only thing I would ask is that at some point, some visitation be set up. I'm not sure if mom is able to have visits where she's at right now or how that works, but maybe the ad litems and CPS can work something out.
Yeah, talk to Ms. Potts and see how long it is till, I could. I would think she could probably virtually visit now, though. Let me write that down. We'll talk about that. Okay. Okay. Ms. Potts, what do y'all need? Besides visits, got that.
Your Honor, we don't need anything else. And I believe she can virtually visit, but she has very limited phone time and it has to go through the therapist and no in-person visits. They don't want kids up there. So, and I think it's going to be 30 days. Is that correct, Amy?
You can nod.
Shake your head, yes. Okay.
Okay. We understand that on Zoom. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Who do we have? Casa. Ms. Singleton.
Yes. Yeah, the kids are in a really good place with their grandmother. She has said that Ross really needs therapy and would like to get it started as soon as possible. And then I'd like to get a hair follicle on mom just to see if it's just alcohol or what all we're dealing with.
Does Grace need therapy as well?
She might. She's not open to it right now, but she said she'll just see how things go.
I wrote it down, Ms. Vanna.
Okay. And the kids both receive Social Security or some kind of funding through their father's death. And the grandmother could use support, especially with I don't know if you do like an HEB gift card or something, but I'd like to get some kind of support for the grandmother.
Is it maternal?
It is.
No, it's maternal, right?
I think it's mom's mom.
No,
I'm wrong.
No, it's not. She's the paternal grandmother.
Oh, that's right.
And Your Honor, whenever you're ready, I'd like to address the Social Security disability issue.
Okay. It's death benefit, isn't it?
Yes, I'm sorry, it is.
Yes. Okay, go on, Ms. Potts.
I believe she receives $1,800 for each of her 3 children, and she uses that to pay the mortgage. And sorry about the dog. She uses that to pay the mortgage. Her 17-year-old lives in the house and goes to high school and works. So I didn't want to do anything that would jeopardize the mortgage or utility payment while the 17-year-old is there. And I certainly don't want mom to be homeless. But she plans on providing support as soon as she gets out and can get a job and get done what she needs to get done.
So you're telling me she gets $1,800 times 3 a month?
Oh no, just $1,800.
Oh,
Just
I'm not
total.
going to pity party about that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's 1,800 total. And
Okay.
so that's what she uses it for, which is appropriate. That's what it's supposed to be used for, is to provide housing for your children. So,
Well, and other stuff for your children.
right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll take care of that, Miss Singleton, Miss Potts. Okay. Miss Harris.
Thanks, Judge. Some of the stuff I have is the same as the CASA, therapy for Ross. I do want to add that they have an established relationship with Dr. Ambrose, and the grandmother has already been in contact with that doctor about getting them reestablished there. So I would like for them to stay with their previous provider. It's my understanding he accepts Medicaid, so it shouldn't be a problem. The kids would like a visit with their mother once a week and a call with her once a week. I understand that's going to be limited while she's in inpatient, but we would ask for that to start up once she is out. Along the lines of the support for the grandmother, it's my understanding the department and CASA have been very generous in helping her get ready for the kids, get everything set up and all that kind of stuff. But of course, obviously, they could use a little bit of help. So I would hope that kinship funds would start as soon as possible. So I would ask that somebody from kinship be required to get in touch with her right away, and also have an expedited home study if that's what's needed to get the kinship funds started. The Social Security I was going to bring up, I understand the situation. As long as when mom's out, she's helping out. That's what's most important to me. And then the biggest ask for the kids is that they would like to be allowed to go to the home and get some of their things. They can make a list, but they would prefer the opportunity to be able to go in and get what it is that they want that to have with them while they're at their Meemaw's house.
Okay, got it. Okay, Miss Webb, do you or the deceased father or y'all's families have any Native American heritage in your background? No, ma'am. Okay, thank you. Okay, Miss Potts has Miss Webb, did she fill out her application for court-appointed attorney?
Your Honor, I did receive that this morning. I haven't sent it to you yet. I need to review it with her and be sure she's got everything totally filled out, all the blanks.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Webb, that application is due, correct, and filled out and sent to me within a week, or Ms. Potts is released, because I won't know that you're entitled to a court-appointed attorney if I don't have that information from you, okay? But it sounds like y'all already working on it, so it's okay.
When is that due, Judge?
A week. So, okay, I'm going to name the department as the oh, I got to tell y'all something first. I forgot. So I was at a meeting Monday, I think, and one of the it's a I don't know, it's a board I'm on. It's got a long name. I can't remember all the words, but it's basically to establish the Community Resource Center in Kingsland. Okay. So I'm on the board to work to get that done. I think it's called Community Impact Board. But anyway, we were talking, there was like 6 of us, and we were talking, and one of the gentlemen, they're talking about how to help people in the community and what needs to be, what services we need to put into the really nice building that's going to be there, et cetera, to help, folks in the community. And one of the gentlemen talked about how his group was going to a grandma's house this week who had just gotten custody or placement. They're lay people, don't know all the right words, but that's okay. I don't remember the exact words he said. Let's just say placement. Her 2 grandchildren and from CPS. And, he talked about a little bit more. And I'm thinking, man, this sounds familiar. Anyway, so they were going to like tear down a wall or do some work. He said, there's a boy and a girl. I'm thinking, man, this is really clicking. Anyway, they were going to go tear down a wall so they could separate. Long story, I guess, so Grace can have a room different than Ross, or Ross have a different room different than Grace. But anyway, I don't remember, but it was just kind of weird. Of course, it's Llano County, small world. But anyway, it was kind of weird that, these guys I was sitting there working with on this board were going to work on Grandma's house. So I think they were going today, actually. So anyway, it sounds like that's really cool. And they're putting in some, I think there was mildew and, I think she had it was a craft room or something, and they were having to, kind of just put up real quick, and they were helping her, help her kids. So that's y'all, right? That's this case, right?
Yes.
Anyway, small world. So anyway, things are rocking along over there. Anyway, so visits as agreed by CPS and ad litem. Mom can video visit 2 times a week per CPS, ad litem's and placement. Of course, subject to the rules at her facility where she's at also. Let me write one more down. Children into therapy set up by paternal grandma and CPS by 4/15/24. I'm good. They already have established provider. That's great. Hair strand on mom to include alcohol per CPS. Ms. Potts, I'm sure you've told Ms. Webb about dyeing your hair, et cetera, et cetera. The paternal grandma has a 10-year-old little boy and a 12-year-old girl. I don't know how much 10-year-old boys eat, and they eat a lot. And so I am going to order that $500 of that Social Security. There's 3 kids, so she gets $600 per kid, I guess. But so I'm going to cut a little bit less. $500 is to be forwarded to paternal grandma each month within 5 days of mom's receipt of that money, because these kids got to eat.
Your Honor, may I say something, please?
Yes.
If we do that, she can't make her mortgage because she's not working. If she can't make her mortgage, she and her 17-year-old will be homeless. And when she gets out of rehab, she's going to have trouble finding and getting housing again. Because
does the 17-year-old work?
Yes, Your Honor, she does. But she's also in high school. And there's utilities, which are $350 a month as well.
Well, her kids have to eat.
Okay, I'm just telling you the circumstance, because we don't usually do this at the beginning of a case.
I redirect the whole amount to the caregiver generally.
Yes, Your Honor, but that will make my client homeless and her daughter, her 17-year-old. I just feel like I really need to tell you that because it's a big deal.
Well, I'm sorry we're here, but it's not those kids' fault. It's not the 17-year-old's fault. Department, CASA, Miss Harris, you think this is unreasonable? You think amount is reasonable? What do y'all think?
Well, I guess I would like to know the amount, how much, an accounting of what mom pays with the money. I don't know how much her mortgage is and how much the utilities are, but I don't want to get into a situation where we're now removing a 17-year-old and because she's homeless. I think she's fairly self-sufficient and is going to school, is a good kid, and has a driver's license, car. But if she has nowhere to go or nowhere to stay, I would hate to have to do a removal on the 17-year-old as well.
Well, I don't want to kick her out of her house, but some money needs to go to these kids' support.
Right.
Your Honor, when she was working on her application, she said that the mortgage was $1,650 and the utilities are $350. And then that doesn't include her car and all the other insurance and all that other stuff. It's just
because I can't imagine being late 1 month would have her kicked out of her home.
Well, that's true, but then she's going to have to start working again. Maybe if we could start this up after she gets out of rehab so that she has time to go ahead and get a new job and get some money coming in, then maybe we would be able to do it that way.
And I think the department is also asking for when mom gets out and gets a job to then start redirecting some of that money to the placement.
Okay, we can do that. And I'll lower it to $300 when she gets out. And it's due in the month after she gets out.
Judge, this is FPSS Michelle Peterson. Can we just verify that I was under the understanding that she was it's her dad's home and her dad's letting her live there. So can we just verify, is she paying rent to him?
She indicated to me that it was owner finance. I don't know whose home it is.
Okay.
Well, Ms. Potts, she needs to provide you with that contract.
And I also
trust or whatever it is.
Okay.
I had one more question for mom, and that is, does the 17-year-old have access to the account where the money goes? So is she paying those utilities, or how is that being paid?
I do not know that answer. Ms. Webb, is your daughter paying the utilities, or are you paying the utilities on your phone where you are?
I left my card, my debit card, and my checkbook with my father. And me and my father are both on the lease of the house.
Okay. And some stuff about that. Okay, $300 is due by mom when she receives the Social Security funds. She's to forward the $300. This is kind of messy, Miss Vanna, on the docket sheet, but I know you'll fix it up. To paternal grandma within 5 days of receipt in the month after she successfully completes inpatient rehab. Mom can video visit 2 times per week. I already said this, per CPS at Lighting and Placement. CPS kinship to contact paternal grandma within 1 week. Expedited home study on paternal grandma. Kids and paternal grandma can go to the home to get the personal effects within 1 week. Mom's court-appointed attorney application is due within 1 week, or Ms. Potts' release. Mom is to successfully complete her current inpatient rehab. And you remember, if she doesn't complete it and she leaves, then the money starts being due, the next, like immediately, because I said the money is due after she successfully completes the rehab. If she doesn't successfully complete, she's kicked out, then she gets a job, and, she's back home just like she was before. Mom is to provide the mortgage/rent contract to CPS within 1 week and is to circulate that. Sounds like her dad and or the 17-year-old can have access to that, or they can find it. Okay. Ms. Webb, after today, there'll be a meeting called a family group conference. At that family group conference, that's where your services will be developed, and, the counsel and stuff like that for the kids. And I tell everybody at every hearing, you have to comply with your service plan or your parental rights could be subject to termination. You're like there already, because you're already an inpatient. You're already working on part of your service plan when you haven't even had that created. So that's great. So, that you're way further along than probably 90% of our people, maybe 95% of our people. So we appreciate you recognizing that there's an issue, maybe call it a problem, and that you're stepping up and doing that on your own. Now I want to say, I know when I read the affidavit, there are obviously some protective order issues. I'm not going to, you can't be violating, you can't be calling people over to violate the protective order. I'm not going to worry about the kids and the protective order now, because I assume the children are safe with the grandma, and that person restrained under the protective order is probably just your friend and not the kid's friend. So, but if that's an issue, y'all will need to address that whenever. Okay.
Okay.
But I think that's kind of one of the reasons that we're even here. I think that kind of started. Just kind of I just know what I was told, or not what I was told, what I read, the affidavit, but just kind of reading between the lines. Okay. Remind me, ma'am, again, the name. Are you at Synacor?
Yes, ma'am. Austin Synacor.
Okay. How'd you get in there?
I called and they were able to get me in the next day.
Wow. That's amazing.
The Lord is with me.
Yeah, well, and if you don't successfully complete it and you got to go somewhere else, it might not be that quick,
I will complete this. I got it.
Well, it's good for you. Your children have had some strife in their life, and they don't need, they need mom to step up the plate and do the right thing. Especially you got like 3, you got a teenager and you got 2 like preteens. Oh my God, they need you more than ever,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Well, anybody need anything else? Ms. Donnell?
If we could get the name and phone number for your case manager at Synacor, Ms. Webb. I can get that from Ms. Potts, but that's just something that we're going to need.
Yeah,
I will email you. I have both.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. I'm also ordering Ms. Webb to sign a release upon presentment for her rehab records. Forgot about
she does. Yeah, I think she has signed a release for the department, so Sierra should have it, hopefully. And for me too.
That's not an issue. I knew she would do it, but I was just going to put it in the order. So.
Gotcha.
Okay, y'all. Status hearing is 5/21. I'll be in Burnett in the courthouse that day, I think, unless sometimes things change. But do y'all agree that all the hearings can be held via Zoom for now?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Judge.
I think I wrote that down. I did. Okay. Anybody need anything else?
Your Honor, could I impose on you to allow Ms. Webb and I to go to a breakout room so that
Oh,
I can finish up her work?
Yeah, no, that's good. Okay. Ms. Webb, you understand everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, good luck to you. I think this sounds like a good plan. And the next time we see you will be May 21st, and hopefully you'll be done.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe into some sober living or, whatever's a good thing after that. Where do you work when you're not there?
See, I'm working with my sister. She has a cleaning business, but it's not full time. I need full time. And so I was going to apply at the Horseshoe Bay Resort. I've worked there before, and I think that would be good.
Well, I was going to tell you that. I mean, I saw where your house is. I was going to tell you that, that would be, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to tell you the same thing. And especially with the summer coming up, I mean,
Yes.
they need everything there.
Absolutely.
Right. And they have benefits sometimes. Okay.
Yeah.
Good plan. Thank y'all. See
Thank you.
Thank you.
May. Thank
Ms.
Judge-
Webb, you should receive a link to go to a breakout room.
Jenna, when you spoke to Mom yesterday, did you get any locating information for her?
No, I mean, I know she was with Stone, and then when I talked to Kenzie yesterday, what was it? When I talked to Kenzie yesterday, she did tell me that Mom was with Stone earlier. So I guess I'm just assuming it was at the house, because that's where I guess the ad litem was supposed to meet with her, and everything like that. But I didn't specifically ask her because she was just very adamant about needing to cancel that visit for yesterday.
Okay, thank you. And so Kinsey verified that Mom was there with Stone in the morning?
Yeah, earlier, because I asked her, I said, because I could hear Stone in the background, or at least a kid in the background, and she was referring to him as Stone. And then later when I talked to Kenzie, I could hear Stone in the background again. And I asked her, I said, so what was Mom with Stone earlier? And she said, yeah, she was there with him earlier. But Stone was with them at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Did y'all go to a breakout room, Miss Vanna?
We did. Ms. Dowdle indicated that they had not had any contact with the mother,
Okay.
Miss Alexis Goff. We have been unsuccessful in service still. The only person that we were able to serve was a member of the household, Colleen Goff, who is the grandmother of the child.
And Judge, we spoke with her, with Miss Goff, and she was going to try to have Alexis call us, but we had no contact.
Okay.
Have you heard from Grandma Michelle?
Yeah, she called up here. She was having difficulty. I don't know. She needed the Zoom ID, and so they're emailing her or texting her just the link that she can click on to make it easier.
Somebody named Kinsey is in the waiting room.
That's the aunt.
That's the aunt.
Do I need to let her in?
If we could, maybe I can ask her some questions about where the mom might be.
Okay.
Ms. Colleen Goff is one of the respondents in this case. May I ask her a couple questions, Judge?
Yes, ma'am. Let me swear everybody in. Miss Vanna, I don't have the cause number yet. Do you have it?
Oh, I do. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
56.
Okay, Miss Vanna, you may begin.
Thank you. Miss Colleen Goff, did you and Miss Kinsey go drug test today?
Yes, we have not been there. We're in Marble Falls right now, and we can go. We did not make it before. I'm sorry, but my coworker, I had to come here. That's where I'm at work. We're sitting in the car at my job.
Okay.
So it's right down the road. We can go anytime now.
Okay, so you'll be able to get that done today?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Fantastic. And do you happen to know the whereabouts of Alexis?
Ma'am, she's in Kingsland. I do have a Wi-Fi phone number. That's how I send her messages, and that's how I call her when whenever I do talk to her. But, and I know she hangs out at a few places in Kingsland.
Okay, do you know what few places in Kingsland she hangs out in?
I don't know the name of the road or anything.
I don't either. It's those apartment
I don't know
complexes.
the name of the street or anything. I've only been there one time looking for her.
Okay, well, tell us how to get.
Okay, so if you turn, how I do it is
Sorry,
there's a
I think the issue
I
is
can
that
get a message to her
but she's not
via that text. I'm sorry.
she's not responding to any communications though, because even when you've messaged her, she's not contacting her attorney.
Right.
So they're like, they need to, one, get her served and find out where she's at, so that way, you know, things can proceed and things can get done, but,
We can.
do you have a picture of her
Get the
truck?
address. A picture of her truck. I can get you one real
yeah,
fast. I mean, I don't know if I have a picture
one
of it. It's a Ford 150. It's 4-door. And
black handles.
I mean, it's just a normal. I can get you a picture of one. Let me look on my phone.
Mirrors have blinkers in the mirrors. You know, not all
Well, it's
trucks
not-
have blinkers.
It's registered in her name.
Yeah.
Well, I think just like a license plate number or something, because we're in
I
Texas.
have that on my insurance.
Oh, mom has that.
Ford
on her
trucks are
insurance
very
price.
common.
Oh, that's for sure.
And I guess my
It's what-
question is, you had stated that you're able to maybe possibly get the address where she's staying. If you could and send that to Miss Jenna, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we could do that. We'll have to.
I can do it. I
we should
know
stop
where
by.
it is. I just don't know the names of the streets.
I'm not trying to.
Yeah, roll
I didn't realize we didn't have no gas.
Okay, and I have one more question. Who is Stone staying with when you're at work?
Me.
Okay, and where is he right now?
Right now, he is at home with my friend. She just came over and Kenzie's going straight back. She just came to take the UA and we didn't want to take him with us and to do that. But she's going directly back
Because
home.
mom has to go to work after
I just
this.
work
So I
right
was just
down
gonna
the
drop her off after we take the drug test and then go on home.
Okay. Okay, I think that's all I had.
Okay.
It's just weird, and it didn't have a little line through my audio. It didn't show it wasn't working. That's weird. Miss Kinsey or Miss Goff,
Yes, ma'am.
her name is her duplex apartment lease. Is it hers or somebody else's or what?
It is a friend of hers, but I honestly don't know who.
I don't know whose name it legally is.
I don't even know who stays there, really.
Yeah.
Well, do y'all have
Every
a
time we
nickname
see
for him? Do y'all have something for
sorry?
him?
I'm sorry.
What's his name? I mean, do you know a nickname? Do you know anything?
I've never personally met him. I don't know. I went over there one time and only Lexi came outside.
Okay. Well, you don't know his name?
No,
I
I
think
don't.
there's several people that hang out there. I don't
Yeah.
think that there's one particular.
Okay.
I don't know. She's always with somebody different. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't really talk to her about who
Okay.
she. I mean, I don't care to. Truthfully, sorry.
Miss, did you get
I
all
know
the
Brandy is one of the names, but I don't know
Who?
who she is.
Brandy.
I know there's
She
a
said
Brandy,
Brandy.
but I don't know what her last name is. I've just heard her name and
Okay.
Sorry, she's looking for the license plate number for the truck on
Okay.
her
be on this
on her
card.
insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be on the ID card, mom.
I think it's pretty easy to find. I've heard recently
Oh,
someone lives over in that same area.
has
It's
the
showing the VIN number.
That's okay. Give us the VIN number.
Yeah, I mean that works even better.
Okay, so hers is 756. Make sure that's right.
Yeah, I was looking.
If somebody has, I could text this to
Oh
somebody.
yeah,
if needed.
email or we could email you the insurance card.
If you
that
could
would-
send it to Miss Woodapien, that would be great. And I
Sorry.
think you could probably text it to the number that's on her card.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay, I'll do it right now. Let me find the card.
And Judge Miss Colleen Goff says she's going to try to get the address of the duplex that she just described.
Okay.
I can go get it.
Okay. Yeah. If you'll do that. I mean, I think that they need to serve the papers. They know. Because like I said, I think I've sent somebody
Yes,
over.
the gentleman showed up at my house this morning looking for her. The officer did.
Okay. Okay. Anything else, Miss Vanna, that you need?
No, Your Honor, just for the extension.
Okay. Let's see. Miss Dowell, anything you need?
No, just again, if y'all would pass on to Alexis to contact my office, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely will.
Okay. Thank you. Miss Cummings, you good?
Yes, Your Honor. I did meet with the child yesterday with Grandma and Kenzie, and he seems to be doing well in their care. There are some things that are needed medically wise that they're not able to obtain, but I've been talking with them about, and I talked with Ms. Vana yesterday too, about possibly looking towards working on getting them a temporary order for Kenzie so that way she can get medical and education for him. They believe, and after spending some time with him, that the child may be autistic and early intervention services are definitely needed. But mom is not essentially consenting or following through with anything that's needed. So I'm gonna work with them to hopefully try to help them get something filed sooner rather than later.
Where do they live, Miss Cummings?
In Granite Shoals.
Okay. Well, and he's 3, so ECI isn't available anymore, but okay. Head Start, some of those things. So, okay. We are going to reset this case today until 4/9/24 at 3:30 in the afternoon via Zoom. So, thank you for the information. Ms. Vann, if you'll just prepare a reset notice, and I will see everybody then. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jen.
Speak to Ms. Dowdle when she's done.
Okay.
I do need to speak with you, Judge.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. In a breakout room?
I think it's fine on here.
Okay.
Mr. Evans has a fairly lengthy history in Barnett County with criminal during the time period in which I worked at the county attorney's office. I have no independent recollection of any interaction with any of his criminal cases. But I felt like I did probably need to mention that those were handled by the office while I was employed by the office. So,
okay. Why don't you talk to him and just tell him about that? I don't think nobody here has any opposition going forward with that information. Do y'all?
No, Judge.
No. Okay. Just let him know. He sounds like he's a nice guy. Y'all need me. Y'all ready to go?
Yes,
Judge, we're going to be asking for a reset to allow us time to prepare, allow my client time to get a hair test, and allow the aunt time to get her hair retested.
She going to pay for that?
The aunt?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my understanding is she is.
She already did yesterday.
But okay. But I think the department's going to make arrangements for Alexis to get a hair test. And then we'd like to set up some visits at the CPS office. The removal just happened last night, as the court's aware. So we haven't had a visit. We'd like to set up some visits pending the reset.
Hold on just a second. Okay, keep going, Ms. Dowdle.
I'm sorry, Judge. I think that's all. I mean, we would like to set up visits for my client pending the reset at the CPS office. And we have forwarded information to Jenna about a maternal uncle that we'd like to have checked out for placement. And we would continue to forward any other information if other family or friends become available for review for placement. And we'd just like an opportunity to prepare and reset so that we can get the hair strain results back.
Okay, Ms. Vanna, what do you need?
At this time, just the reset, Judge, that the visits be at the CPS office supervised. And I think Ms. Cummings wants a hair strand on the child.
Okay, Ms. McAnally, what do you need?
I just need the opportunity to talk with my client to get a little guidance, but other than that, nothing.
I would ask them to not alter her hair in any way.
Yes, ma'am. During dependency, any of these people, it's all the same. Nobody's supposed to dye, cut off. You can trim, but you can't cut off, dye, alter your hair anyway, or your nails during dependency of the suit. You can't have fake nails, you can't have fake hair, any of that stuff. Okay. Ms. Collins, anything?
Just if they can let me know when the visit's going to be so I can observe it, please.
Okay. Ms. Cummings?
Yes, Your Honor, I would request that the court order that the child have a substance abuse test, a hair test, just to see if he has been exposed, just based on his behaviors. I was under the impression that he was could possibly be autistic, and now I have concerns that a lot of the behaviors may be due to methamphetamine exposure, and I would like to be able to know.
Okay. Okay, so
Just one thing, Your Honor.
yes, ma'am.
I understand this, the child is currently with some paternal relatives. I would like for that to stay the case until we're before the court again.
Okay. Okay, reset times. We'll go into breakout room. Let's go do that real quick. Let's go get CASA and lawyers. Ms. Simpson, if you can send us to a breakout room, please, and we'll look at our calendars and then we'll come back and I'll go over all the orders for today. Okay, here are the orders of the court. The emergency orders that I previously signed are extended until 1 p.m. on 4/25/24, and that's done by agreement, correct? Lawyers?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, Ms. McAnally is appointed to represent the father who is in TDCJ. Y'all, lawyers and CASA, y'all agree that the hearing can be held via Zoom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Excuse me, Ms. Goff, is the hair strand is directed by the department with the, hold on just a second, I have a lot written down.
Can we ask, can we have that hair strand test be ordered to be done by noon tomorrow or 3 tomorrow?
Okay. Tomorrow's the 10th, correct? Okay.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Goff is to submit to a hair strand per CPS with results returned by 4/25/24, and she is to test as directed by the department by 4/10/24. Ms. Kinsey, the aunt, is to hair strand and execute a release for CPS to obtain the results. And her strand, I can't talk, sorry. Her hair strand is to be at the same levels, same cutoff levels as CPS tests. So it needs to mirror exactly what CPS is. Ms. Goff's court-appointed attorney application is due to the court by 4/25/24, or Ms. Stadel is released from further representation. Mom can visit at the CPS office, supervised once she completes her hair strand test, and the visits are as agreed by CPS at items and placement. Hair strand, excuse me, on stone with results also returned by 4/25/24. No change in placement without further court order. Lawyers, CASA, do y'all need anything else?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. McAnally, when you do the extension order, be sure and put on there that it's agreed, since it's past the 14 days, to put agreed, it was agreed on the record. Okay.
I'll do that, Judge.
Okay. Okay. And we were set for a participation hearing. We're not having the participation hearing, correct, Ms. Vanna?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll see y'all in a little bit more than 2 weeks. Good luck.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, can you send me a copy of your
do it right now.
Docket sheet? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Alexis, you need to contact my office so we can set up a time to visit. Your mom has all the information.
Okay.